Let me get you on camera. Where you from?
California.
No, for real. You know, I'm serious though.
Watts, baby.
I know where you from though. Where you from?
Eastside PJ Watts.
I'm from Grace 2 Rock, nigga.
Right.
They call you, homie.
Big Slice.
Big Slice?
Yes, yes.
All right, nigga. They call me Ctha, cuz.
Right.
In that hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.
Ctha, gratitude is the attitude. Show us a blessing to be back in the black box as we blow a succession. Oh, my mama. I have to admit that Poetic Flacco has to be the most popular content creator that I'm personally in contact with. Maybe even I have to acknowledge the biggest independent creator in this, what we call our sector. And he has really grown in leaps and bounds in just recent months, man. From the Corey Holcomb saga to now, what he got cracking right now, he popping. So he kind of switched the subject up on this one. And he's talking about Charlemagne. I think I picked up on the theme when it comes to Flacco and Charlemagne. I don't believe Flacco is too fond of Charlemagne. He seems to be condescending toward him, very patronizing. And we're going to see what he got to say. With no further ado, what Flacco says Charlemagne has been up to, because it's something about Meek Mill and some other I don't know. It's just the constant, consistent content creation campaign continues right here in the black box. We cracking.
Meek Mill is currently on social media writing paragraphs and trying to expose Charlemagne the God after he's seen a clip on his timeline of Charlemagne the God discussing him on his podcast.
Yeah, when Drake went at Meek, Drake was a way bigger artist than Meek. So it was easier for those battles just to keep moving because there's nothing but upside. Nas, you win with Ctha, right? Even though I think Take Over is a better song, but Nas, you win with Ctha. So it's nothing but upside for you, right?
Yeah.
Sadly, Pac and Biggie got,
the smaller guy always has the upside.
Meek never. I don't know.
What are you saying?
I'm just saying, like, you could have just kept doing music, but for some reason he didn't. Like something was just off after the battle. You know what I mean? And he really, I mean, honestly, he didn't really. He never recovered.
Yeah,
strange.
Maybe he made a lot of money though.
He kind of recovered when he got with Nicki, and then it fell off again.
No, they broke up right after that.
I know, but he was like having songs out and everything.
You know what it was with Meek, man? Meek's Achilles heel to me was actually Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
And when Drake called him Twitter fingers, no, what did he say? What was it? It was Twitter fingers.
Trigger fingers turned to Twitter fingers. You got it right.
Yeah,
right?
Twitter fingers.
When he called them Twitter fingers,
trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers.
Trigger fingers turn to Twitter fingers, and it's just like every time Meek tweets, even now
crazy,
to
bro.
this day,
it's crazy. It's pure entertainment.
And I Meek, you know what I'm saying? I think Meek does a lot for his community. You know, he's been a great, symbol for the city of Philly. I love what he does with reform, but I probably would have deleted my Twitter after Twitter fingers. And just flooded the streets with nothing but music.
You're forgetting the deep stuff too.
Guys, we're insane to talk every week.
Somebody explain to me how this dude can be comfortable crossing his legs sitting like that. For the life of me, I don't understand. How the is that possible, man? They not suffocating, getting crushed? Like, what the
What?
We're insane to talk every
week. But we're
podcasters. Twitter, only Elon makes money.
You know what I mean? Like, call me a hater too, but I didn't think that the opinion that Meek Mill didn't bounce back from the Drake beef was controversial. I just thought we all just acknowledged that as a fact. I mean, how can Meek Mill argue with it? Before the Drake beef, Meek Mill was like a top 5 rapper, I guess, in hip hop. After the Drake beef, Meek Mill hasn't sold 100,000 since. Like, Meek Mill has fell off. He's washed. So I just thought Meek Mill knew that. I thought everybody knew that, but apparently this was news to Meek Mill, and he was very upset at Charlemagne the God for saying this publicly, even though we all think this. So Meek Mill took to, again, Twitter, the very same place Charlemagne the God and Andrew Schultz expressed.
I think the worst thing happened to Meek Mill is this association with Diddy and sitting up under that billionaire bunny hop and acting like a bozo.
is the reason why Meek Mill hasn't bounced back from this Drake beef. So Meek Mill took to Twitter to go at Charlemagne the God. Meek Mill needs a PR team badly, more than anybody to ever live. Meek Mill, in his response to Charlemagne the God, made an unbelievably stupid mistake as well. So Meek Mill, in response to Charlemagne the God saying that Meek Mill never bounced back, he reposted a video of Charlemagne the God talking about watching the R. Kelly tapes. Now, Charlemagne, the quote of Charlemagne the God is kind of out of context because Charlemagne the God did call it evil, what R. Kelly did, but he also said what R. Kelly did was incredible in terms of when R. Kelly came, pissed, then came again. From my perspective, there's no excuse. There's nothing incredible about what R. Kelly did. R. Kelly is a monster.
That was disgusting. But coming from Charlemagne, this is a guy who's been comfortable on camera sniffing seats. So you just got to put everything in the proper perspective.
But Charlemagne the God said this. Meek Mill, while trying to, I guess, critique and shame Charlemagne the God for saying that, Meek Mill would also admit to watching child porn. So Meek Mill says, these the media personalities y'all put in front of us to listen to. In jail, we really used to torture perverts like this. I seen the R. Kelly tapes. I thought it was trifling. A grown man.
When he say we, do you think he really, really was a part of anything of that nature? Or you think he's just projecting because that's what everybody typically expects to happen to those type of individuals, even if he witnessed it take place? Do you think he was really in there pushing a line? A nigga who went to jail for popping a willie, y'all. Think about it.
Was peeing on a little girl and could register that at the age of like, you know what, right? The girl was really, really, really young. But why you seen the tapes? But you knew beforehand because you knew beforehand the girl was young.
My mama to this day, I've never seen the R. Kelly tape from back in the day. I've been at locations where the people in the next room was watching it, and I've never, ever laid one eye on a screen that was playing that content. Even since back then, once I heard what it supposedly had, I had absolutely no interest in viewing it.
You knew beforehand the girl on the R. Kelly tape was young, and you said you seen the tapes.
And your boy Ho No 100 and Vladimir 22 was sending some similar type of content back and forth with each other in regards to Nova, Tania's daughter.
While critiquing somebody for being a pervert. So you are admitting to watching child porn while also critiquing somebody who also watched child porn. Just stupid, bro. But it didn't stop here. Meek Mill then took to Instagram to write this paragraph responding back to Charlemagne the God saying he didn't bounce back after the Drake beef, which again I didn't think was controversial. Meek Mill goes, so I want to make this a main post to highlight the real propaganda that's taking place in the hip-hop community. I need everyone to leave a comment if you see what's happening. What propaganda is there against Meek Mill? Oh my, yo, I've never met anybody more delusional than Meek, bruh. Meek, the man said he rock with you. He F with you. He said, yo, Meek Mill got a song, Dreams of Nightmare. It's an anthem. It's legendary. But Meek Mill ain't bounced back since the Drake.
Meek Mill is a weirdo. I remember me and my nigga Cash Daddy and Bino, they from Philly. We was in New York with the nigga Slow Bucks. And Slow Bucks weird ass asked my nigga where he was from. My nigga just happened to say he from Philly. And then Slowbuck was like, oh, you from Philly? I rock with Meek, you know Meek? And my nigga, he answered, he like, Meek know me. And this nigga Slowbuck's gonna FaceTime Meek Mill and try to put my nigga Cash Daddy on the camera like a nigga was gonna be gassed to geek to get on. And then Cash Daddy just held his hat, looked at him, he didn't say nothing. That nigga Meek tried to act all weird, but it's a whole story behind why, you know, my nigga didn't give a fuck about Meek being on that phone, but I don't even know what made Slowbucks do that old goofy shit. Streets may be icy though, don't slip.
What propaganda is? Why are you crying about this? Other people, like academics, have said worse about you, Meek. You don't want to make an enemy with somebody who's an ally of you. I don't think y'all understand how life works. You don't make enemies of people who are neutral. Make enemies of your enemies, not of people who are neutral.
Boy, that's a good lesson that I had to learn. And you know, when you really tribal and loyal and down and you go by a code, you be expecting to be like everything to be a choose a side thing. But in life, that's not how it is. It's like being so young and indoctrinated with that gang shit, it will cause you to try to apply certain criteria to regular life situations that don't really serve you well. You got to be more neutral.
This is just like pure critique. He says, I need everyone to leave a comment if you see what's happening now and how they're trying to downgrade artist brands from feeding a family. Let's go through it. The white hit also boosted the what?
How the f do you have time to type all this to the man? I wouldn't give up. I could not imagine.
The white hit also boosted the rumor on his major platform with no evidence. Do not go on these platforms only. What? Meek Mill don't speak English, bro. Meek, this ain't, what? Do not go on these platforms only us. Can y'all see my brand back heating up nowadays? Please. Oh. Okay. So Meek Mill says, since the Drake beef, I dropped Tap 3 platinums, Ctha double platinum, Blue Notes 1 and 2 platinum, Uptown Vibes with Legend from Brooklyn, Fab platinum, What's Free featuring Jay-Z, Meek Mill, I think is platinum, FOES featuring Cardi B platinum, Scarface with Rick Ross, Gold Independent Money, Respect the Game platinum, 24/7 double platinum, Dangerous platinum. Meek Mill is naming songs from that particular era, I believe. Because even like you naming like Dangerous, like that's from like that particular era, right? I know the last Meek Mill hit that I can remember is a song with Friday. And that feels like one of Meek Mill's only hits in the last 5 years. So Meek says, I don't collect plaques, LOL. Championship album, like double plat, yeah, but the championship album dropped, I think, immediately after the beef. So that explains it, right? But if we're looking at Meek Mill career and the trajectory it was on before the Drake beef, Meek fell off. Now, Meek Mill had some cool records. The song with Friday, I think, is amazing. But Meek Mill was an artist selling 200,000 copies first week, and Meek was looked at as one of the top 5 guys in hip-hop. So Meek says...
Damn, Meek Mill was at a certain point one of the top 5 guys in hip-hop. I must have been knocked out sleep during that era.
I dropped Expensive Pain, Gold, and it wasn't marketed correctly, leaving labels. Cybertruck, 5 a.m. in Philly. How far we came. He actually switched up on Drake because he helped power the Meek was done narrative was done. Huh? He actually switched up on Drake because he helped power the Meek was done narrative was done. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, yo. Meek don't speak English.
Now he's using the same.
Now he's using the same against Drake.
Drake good with me and Jay-Z.
Good with me and Jay-Z. Keep me out this weak-ass ish. I had a meeting with A16s, found a lot of new tech deals and activations just from playing around tweeting. I forgot Proud of Me. Is almost platinum. 1942 flows platinum. Bro,
man, it's long. Bro. God
so
damn.
Meek continues to list songs that are platinum. And then he goes, we got to keep a close eye on this cat. I feel like he in the closet. What the Sharpie the guy's homo? Well,
not Diddy Daddy in the Diddy Daddy in the pool trying to call somebody in the closet on a 4-wheeler, shirts off, nut the butt with a grown man. Come on, Meek.
He's not a homosexual, but what does the sexuality have to do with anything? We got to keep a close eye on this cat. I feel like he in the closet. Gay man that hates successful black men unless he's doing business with them, but I could be wrong. Oh, and I'm powering help pop like 10 artists off on the East. No cash gain for charity. Okay, yeah, bro. I'm done reading whatever hieroglyphics Meek is writing. Now, Charlemagne the God responded back to Meek Mill, going off on him, and here's what he had to say.
I feel like he's in the closet gay man that hates successful black men unless he's doing business with them, but they promoted I'm gay, and I'm helping pop like 10 artists off on the East Coast, no cash for gain for charity. I'm really the one, but it's some real propaganda on my brand. And I want to investigate it.
Dropping the clues bombs for Meek Mill. I never said he didn't drop any music. I said if I was Meek, I would have deleted my Twitter and just kept dropping music. I would only talk through the music because every single time Meek posts, the internet turns it into a joke. Y'all was just laughing at him last week because he posted about being on LinkedIn.
Yeah, they were.
And I said on Brilliant Idiots, the propaganda. I didn't say propaganda, but I said, the way they act with Meek is strange. And I agree with Meek. The propaganda against Meek is strange. And it started with that battle. And at least on social media, the narrative around him hasn't recovered.
It started with the battle. The sad thing about Meek is he gets busy, he gets nice, he puts out great music. He's an inspiration to a lot of these artists. G Herbo said he's the reason why he even wanted to get into music. But sadly, because of everything that's been going on with social media after that beef, he's been the butt of a lot of people's jokes.
Regardless of what he does. And he does some great things. We always get Meek.
I can't believe this is even a conversation for grown men to be having, man. This is crazy.
Credit for the great
and it doesn't matter what he does.
He drops too, because there has been music that I feel like people didn't like. Remember the Heathens? Like there was a lot of things that he dropped.
Championships, wins and losses. Even though that was almost 10 years ago, that was a great project. I do agree with Meek. The propaganda against him is strange, and it started with that battle, at least on social media, right? And the narrative around him on social media is what I mean when I say he hasn't fully recovered, right? Because he's done some amazing stuff.
He sells out arenas. He sells out. He does a lot of dope ish. But like you said, the propaganda around him is taking what he's done and what he's built and tries to make a mockery of it. So
every time he posts,
if you're Meek, you understand why he would be upset. Like absolutely, positively, they done made this man gay.
You see what I mean when I say you make a mistake when you go at people who aren't your enemy. See, Charlemagne the God just gave an example. Yo, I was like praising Meek and giving Meek props this day and this day and this day. I was advocating for Meek. Now Meek is going off on me. Now, again, you think Charlemagne may not have said it right now, but you think Charlemagne the God will be more prone to defend Meek after what Meek just did, after what Meek just shared? No, he won't. No. Now Meek just turned somebody who's neutral, who was advocating for you one day, critiquing you the next day. He just turned that person into now a full-fledged, full-time enemy who was probably a part-time op, who was probably part-time critiquing you or making fun of you.
Nah, I think Charlemagne, they'll come to a meeting of a mind. I don't think Charlemagne gonna go all the way left on him. I doubt it.
Part-time. Now, guess what? Every time your name come up, they got something negative to say. Right? They got something negative to say. And that's not smart. You don't turn half-time or part-time enemies into full-time enemies. You either just ignore them or you play cool. Now, I don't play them close, but you play cool or ignore them. The worst thing you want to do is in this game, in this media, is to turn somebody into an enemy, especially somebody who gives his opinion as often as Charlemagne the God, like who got a platform to where he's giving opinions, he's critiquing. He got a platform that he's seen every day. He's seen every day. Making that person your enemy is going to end bad for you as a rapper. The only thing I would have supported Meek doing is if Charlemagne the God was somebody who every time he opened up his mouth had something bad to say about Meek, I'd be like crash out. I had to do that. Right? I had to do that, man. All right? Like one of these suckers, some weirdo, man, who work at No Jumper, like got to lying and capping on my name. If someone got to just lying, bro. I had to let them know, hey, bro, we not cool. Understand? We not cool. Right? Like you doing you feel me? Like the slick dissing and lying on me and saying, oh, man, I rock with Flacco. Though. Nah, I had to let them know. Right? In our little No Jumper chat. We not cool. I don't rock with you. Make it clear. I don't like you. Things like that, that's when it's understandable. When every time this person opened up their mouth, it was something negative. I had to let them know, I don't rock with you. I don't care if we both had No Jumper. I don't like you. So now they don't need to be fake no more. But if it was somebody who, let's say, like 10% of the time they said something bad, then 90% it was something good, I'm not about to crash out over that 10% and then trade away that 90% and turn that 90% into 100% all negative. Let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about it?
Well, if he kind of threw me off with the thumbnail, my thumbnail is mimicking his. I might switch it up and incorporate Meek Mill. I don't know, but I don't believe that it's as deep to Charlemagne the God as Flacco is suggesting it might be. Oh, my mama, Ctha, gratitude is the attitude.
Let me get you on camera. Where you from?
California.
No, for real. You know, I'm serious though.
Watts, baby.
I know where you from though. Where you from?
Eastside PJ Watts.
I'm from Grace 2 Rock, nigga.
Right.
They call you, homie?
Big Slice.
Big Slice?
Yes, yes.
All right, nigga. They call me Ctha, cuz.
Right.
And that hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.